All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic start to the Friday and are ready and excited for what should hopefully be a nice capital preservation Friday. Yesterday, fantastic trading day, right? Absolutely got some tremendous amount to follow through. Found a trade that created basically my week, right? All things considered, and put me up in a situation where it is easy, right, for me to finish the week green. So no matter what happens here today, no matter how ideal a setup looks like, no matter how perfect price action appears, everything I am doing here today is based on the idea of making sure that I finish the week green. Now, I have a relatively big buffer, right? So even if I have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or even 8 losing trades in a row, I should still set myself up to be nicely green here on the week, but I'm not going to allow it to scale, right, that aggressively or go that poorly, right? So we talk about this all the time, but a psychology, right, or a profitable trading psychology is proactive, not reactive. So if I want to avoid my worst variations of tilt here today, then I have to make sure that I don't give back all the gains that I had here, right, this week, just so that I can feel alive here today. Because the second, right, I see that P&L going from being, up 3,500 or 3,800 or 4,000 or 2,000 or 1,000 or $500 to now being zero or down 500 or down 1,000, I'm going to get desperate, right? And I'm going to try to make that all back and try to set myself up to basically just get back to where I was before I even started. And the second I start behaving within that sort of irrational mindset, bad things just happen, right? There's no getting bailed out at that point. Things just tend to just sort of blow up in your face. The other element, right, that I want to focus on, and I want you all individually to focus on here today, is to avoid that self-sabotage as much as possible, right? Being in a rush to make money basically just sets you up to be in a rush to lose. So if you're not checking what your stop loss is, if you're not checking what side of a trade you're taking, if you're not defining your position sizing before you enter a position, and you start going from being deliberate in your decisions to being basically a P&L chaser, you are always going to be punished by the market. It will not reward you for your decisions long term, and it is simply a choice that you make to rush that process. So if you're not checking your stop loss before you check your entry, if you're not checking that you clicked buy when you meant sell or you clicked sell when you meant buy, then you are setting yourself up to be screwed. And that is a choice that you are making to rush your process. And it is one that is unacceptable and one that you cannot make if you want to be a profitable trader. Self-sabotage is the fastest way, right, besides going from green to red, of going on tilt. It is fully avoidable, and again, makes you feel as if you're, why did I do this, right? Why did I do that? Why did XYZ happen? When simply it was purely avoidable. So again, right, we be proactive, not reactive in managing our emotions here today. And that fundamentally starts by being deliberate, detailed, and specific. And if we can control those variables, then we can avoid those embarrassing mistakes. And then finally, right, it's been a dip buyer's market here so far, right, all week. So we've seen a lot of dip buyers, right, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Thursday, right, with a tremendous amount of volume, basically defending inside that green box. And so, very hard for me to have really any bearish bias here today. Kind of seems like it's going to be a, from a systematic prospect at least, right, we've kind of got a dip buyer's market. Then we're going to be looking for a continuation of those narratives here today. So no tunnel vision, right? If price action doesn't behave the way that I expect, I'm very happy not taking any trades here today. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything that puts me in a situation where I go from having a very nice green week to a very frustrating Friday, right? So going to be relatively cautious, relatively patient, let markets and price action set up. And if it doesn't give me the narrative that I'm looking for, I'm not going to waste my energy, waste my time, and drain my mental capital chasing something that isn't there. So with that being said, team, let's start mapping things out here. Let's figure out what we want to do here this morning, and let's put ourselves in situations where it's easy to be green. So first things first, right? We've got some data this morning, 9:45 and 10. So it might slow me down here just a little bit. And that's, red folder data, right? So it's certainly going to be possibly a little bit of a narrative, right, for us to be careful of. So realistically, probably going to be a little bit of a slower start to the AM here today, and then we'll kind of go from there. So what are the counts here? Let's start mapping things out, and let's have ourselves a strong day. And good morning, all DTR members, and good morning, DTR guests. Hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic morning and are looking forward to what should hopefully be another successful trading day. Yeah, I'm going to call this a 2.5 out of 3 rain because I've seen this both be a green candle and a red candle here in the pre-market. So realistically, it's not going to change too much from my perspective, right? Because we have that volume shelf. So we're still only looking for that bullish only bias, right? And we're going to be looking for basically dip buyers inside yesterday's range or basically inside that green box, right? So an ORB fake out inside that green box or a breakout past 59.9 certainly sets me up for a nice amount of continuation. And it's been a market that's been making the largest move of the day a little bit later on in the session, right? So it's almost like trapping people early, creating that FOMO, chopping people out, and then once it's caused max pain, it's then giving us follow through here to the upside. Certainly might be the case here again today, right? In general, kind of believe that markets are going to behave like they always have until proven otherwise. We don't necessarily have too many of those proven otherwises out here yet this week. So still looking for a relatively cautious, consistent, and hopefully stable move right before I'm willing to chase or rush into anything here this morning. And then because it's mostly been a dip buyer's market here this week, our levels really aren't changing, right? We're still targeting a move up towards that all-time high, approximately 650 or 60.50, sorry. And then from there, right, we can set ourselves up for a nice amount of continuation. All right, QQQ. What's the count here? Yeah, same thing, right? We'll call this a 2.5 out of 3 here. Same thing with those dip buyers. Right, so again, we've seen this both be a red candle and a green candle here pre-market. So essentially a flat open, right? We're still looking for dip buyers inside yesterday's range. So say something like this, right? And then we're looking for a continuation breakout up towards all-time highs. Now, do I think we're going to get there all in one go here today? Probably not. But we definitely do have space, 2,900, right? 21,000. Yada, yada, yada. So again, right? Finding a good element of trending price action here today will set us up for a successful day. And if we have to wait a little bit longer, right, for that move to actually come together, I have no problems with that, right? Yesterday, we had an opportunity to pyramid into a trade relatively late in the session, right? Relatively late in the day. And so hopefully, right, we can get ourselves another opportunity just like that. And we can kind of keep building things out and compounding away to set ourselves up for a successful trading day. Any questions about NQ and ES? Everything makes sense? All right, cool. CL. So kind of testing the trend line here, right? Green candle, increasing non-outlier volume, gap up. It's still 2 out of 3 here to the upside with volume. Now, realistically, right, because we're at trend line resistance, I still want to have a little bit of flexibility to be able to play that trend line rejection or failed breakout at that area, right? It would be logical to think that we'll see a rejection happen there. And so what we're kind of like banking for here today, or what we're hoping that we see, is either a strong reaction to that trend line breakout or a strong rejection for us to get that follow through back down towards sort of those low 66s. Low 66 is a bit of an oxymoron. To the upside here, right, looking for 70, 50, 71, 72. I don't see anything really changing too much. And we're just looking for a breakout, ORB breakout past the upper trend line. And then, yeah, ORB breakdown, right, at the trend line for a downside move lower. So again, not too much changing here. But let's see if we can get some nice amount of continuation. Okay. Apple, lower low, higher high. Red candle, increasing almost outlier volume. So we're going to call this a weak 3 for 3. And it's weak, right, because it's a red candle. And it's a weak red candle, right? So it's the least bearish red candle. Good morning, Brian. And so we're going to look still, right, for a resolution of this pattern. So either looking for that 230.50 breakout or a breakdown here, right, under 224-ish. We're going to see if we can get some enthusiasm there, but maybe not a tremendous amount of hope that this is in play here today. Okay. Tesla, I mean, not quite an inside bar, but still consolidating inside Monday's range. So we are looking still for that breakout over 350 or that breakdown under 330. Not much is changing here. Still looks like a tremendous amount of consolidation. Okay. Microsoft, higher high, lower low, increasing volume, gap down. Bit of a stronger candle shape, right, than what we saw on Apple. Right, much larger body than what we saw in Apple, right? So we know that there's a lot more dip buyers in play here than maybe in Microsoft. Now the volume isn't tremendous, so I'm not going to put too much stock into this, and I'm still just going to look for that breakdown under 410. Okay, Amazon, much better volume, right? Kind of outlier volume. First one that's really given us that tremendous volume from our leading names. Let's get rid of some of these here. I don't know if that's necessarily in play. Failed bull flag for sure. I mean, again, that doesn't feel like that's necessarily in play here. So I'm just going to be looking for a 196 breakdown or a rejection off of 200. 2 out of 3 here to the downside with volume. So NA, right, on a bull case this morning. I'll say 200 rejection. Or a breakdown under 196. So if we're looking at the early stories that were being told from our leading names, what's kind of the general narrative that we're seeing? Any thoughts? Higher highs, lower lows, right? That's relatively indecisive. Decent volume standards, right? Lots of kind of quote-unquote consolidation. So this is still very much, right, a two-way tape or a two-way market without really a clear indication on our leading names that we are having a breakout to the upside, right? So if I can see that from our internals, then the base assumption here today is still that it's going to be a relatively choppy session until we get some sort of proven otherwise. So we still want to be relatively patient and cautious to basically not get tunnel vision on setups when everything is kind of giving us one variation of a story or another. And not here to rush anything, not here to force anything, certainly not here to overtrade. So I want to make sure, right, that I'm being objective with my analysis instead of trying to chart out, right, what I want to see. I just need to trade the price action in front of me and not apply my emotional state to it, right? Okay, so again, weak 3 for 3 here to the downside. And it's weak because of the candle shape, right? So the candle's not particularly enthusiastic. And then the volume is increasing, but it's like increasing by a silver, right? Like just by a sliver, sorry. That was weird. And we're not exactly like a huge indication of increasing momentum, right? So without that tremendous change, this still kind of looks like a period of consolidation. And so I'm probably going to look at it like this, right? Where it's kind of wedge patterning, where it needs to break down under 135 or above 142. So again, not too much changing here, right? Which is the general theme of the day, is we've got a lot of narratives that are very similar to yesterday. So although we saw a tremendous amount of dip buyers on an index level this morning, right, we're still seeing a lot of consolidation, a lot of indecision, and maybe not a huge indication that it's going to be like a rocket ship trend day. Okay, NVIDIA, I mean, always expected for us to have a crazy amount of volume there yesterday, right, post earnings. Saw a lot of dip buyers right inside that range, but also gave me a failed breakout, lower low, lower high, opening up in the implied middle of yesterday's range. So we're setting up here, right, as like an inside bar day. Right, very challenging for us to expect that we're going to sustain higher highs above 153, or we're going to sustain lower lows under 146. Sorry, 140, yeah, 140. So about $6, right? $6-7 in either direction, which is a huge move for NVIDIA to make. Now, it is capable of being a lunatic that can make that kind of move here, but I'm not going to be crazy enough to want to trade that or put too much stock into this price action. Let it consolidate, let it catch its breath, and then once it does, we can get some follow through here later on. Okay, Meta found support inside that green box, right? So again, more evidence of dip buyers, right, defending these lows than sustained breakdowns, right, under that area. Red candle, increasing volume, not huge volume, right, not biggest volume of the week. And then a 9-cent gap down. So this is a technical 3 for 3 here to the downside, but it's a weak 3 for 3 here to the downside. Say lots of dip buyers, right? So we want to see now either defense of that green box again, right? Or a breakdown under. And yeah, I'm not really interested in trading in the middle of this range. Like I'm not interested in looking for bearish rejections at 572. I want to play them off the upper end of that trend line or bounces off of this lower end of the trend line. That's pretty much the evidence that we have, right? So if I have a dip buyer zone above, I've got a rip selling zone right above here. So it's like kind of want to go from green box to red box to green box to red box to green box until we get some sort of proven otherwise. And there's no real evidence that anything has changed here in the meantime, right? It's kind of like almost 2 months of kind of just like 1 day up, 1 day down, or 1 week up, 1 week down type price action. So yeah, going from basically green box to red box and going from there. So find support inside the red box. Whoops, find support inside the green box. And then find support Cool. All right, Netflix. The lunatic climb continues. Incredible move. 2 out of 3 here to the upside with volume. And so we're looking for a 907 breakout or a dip buy off of that green box still. That's the narrative. And then no real bear case here until I see bulls failing dramatically, which I have not really encountered here yet. Or I get some sort of like bearish reversal indication, which again hasn't happened. In general, right, when you have like extended price action like we do here, I'm sure RSI and stochastics and things like that are also telling us that this is relatively oversold. When you continue to make higher highs on volume with oversold or overbought readings, what that tells you is that the trend is still very, very strong, right? So if you're able to blow through some of those indicators and you're continuing to see big volume step up, that's actually a good sign of confirmation that you have strong trending price action. So instead of then looking for immediate reversals, you'd be looking for little pullbacks to buy, right? Catch your breath moments, consolidations, and then continuations. So in these contexts, right, I'd be very careful trying to just short like 80 RSI reading or something along those lines, or like some MACD cross, because we keep getting evidence, right, of us making higher highs on volumes in extended price action. So definitely tells me that we've got very strong trending PA. Okay, Google, bit of an outlier here, right? Big red candle, huge volume, big gap down. And it's a 3 for 3 here to the downside. So we're NA, right, for a bull case, and we're looking for either a trend line rejection or, right, a breakdown here under 163.50. Cool. And then VIX hanging out 16.64. So, okay, we have a decent amount of range here still in play potentially. We'll see how this thing goes. Bitcoin just about wanting to touch 100K, still hasn't done it. So that's going to be a pretty interesting move here in the next couple days as well. Any questions here, team? Any questions? Anything? All right, sweet. So I'm going to go make myself a quick cup of coffee, spend a few minutes here visualizing a successful trading day, and then jump back on here kind of as markets are opening to absolutely crush today's sessions. Be back in a few minutes, and we'll talk then. All right, team. So let's get ourselves ready for what should hopefully be an interesting trading day here, right? No rushing anything, no forcing anything, no doing anything stupid. And like I said here, I have my goal, right, for today more than anything else is to not ruin my weekend on a Friday, right? So if you've made good money here this week, don't do anything that would go from making good money to feeling dumb about the money that you lost. If you lost money here this week, right, don't do anything that's going to make that hole worse and compound mistakes. Live to fight another day. Delay that gratification and set yourself up for long-term success, not a short-term dopamine hit, right? So that is a choice that you ultimately make. That is a decision that you ultimately make as a trader. So make the right one, right? Don't be a slave to the moment, right? Don't chase what feels best in the moment, right? Be disciplined, be consistent, play the long-term game, and don't make your results personal, because I promise you they are not. It is simply your reaction to your trading that makes it personal. And if you take accountability over that and you start to study those reactions, your trading will go a lot better, right, than trying to just, feel as if you can keep making the same mistake over and over again, but this time will be different. So enough of that BS, right? Enough of that self-sabotage. Time to become the best trader you can be. In general, right here today, expecting things to be a little bit slower in the morning, right? We've got a bunch of 9:45 data and then a bunch of 10 a.m. data. So it might take a little bit longer, right, today to get some action. And that's fine. I got no problems with that. It gives me an opportunity to sort of judge, right, the quality of the market. How much, follow through we're getting, how big of a fake out we're getting. Do I see clean volume? Do I see messy volume? Do I see levels holding? Do I see, price action respecting our thesis? And I can start to develop a little bit of a pulse for the market here today before having to do anything crazy or aggressive. And yeah, if you want to, be psychotic and active and trade a lot here today, there's nothing wrong with paper trading instead of giving away your gains, right? You can practice techniques, you can practice ideas, you can focus on the quality of your process versus the quality of your outcome. Today is not going to be the day that makes you a millionaire. I can guarantee you that. So you're not one trade away, right, from making $1 million on a single trade. It's not going to happen. Stop pretending as if that is the reasonable outcome here for your decisions, and suck it up, learn, get better, focus on improving, and that is how you win long term. Right? The trader who you were yesterday, the trader who you were last week, last month, last year, doesn't have to be the trader who you are today, right? And certainly doesn't have to be the trader you are tomorrow or next week or next month. But if you get stuck in that feedback loop of feeling sorry for yourself, then things are only going to get worse because you're going to stagnate while the market moves without you. So stop looking for sympathy and create the outcome that you want. Right? Profitable traders create their own futures. They don't rely on luck to get there, right? That's what that means to me. So if you expect yourself to get lucky to be profitable, then you're kind of admitting to yourself that you're a gambler, right? And that you're gambling and that you aren't creating the future that you want, right? It's out of your hands. But I've said this already this week. I've never been forced to take a trade. I've never been forced to oversize. I've never been forced to ignore my stop loss. I've never been forced to rush an entry. I've never been forced to ignore a take profit, right? No one's ever had a gun to my head telling me, Michael, break your rule, right? That is a self-imposed feeling that I create for myself. So if the bad things that happen to me in my trading or bad things that happen to me in my career are a reaction to or a result, right, of my bad reactions or bad decisions, the more accountable I become over the quality of those decisions, the better my trading goes. And that's a fact. You can lie to yourself and pretend that, hey, that isn't the reality, that, hey, the game is rigged against me, that XYZ is the case. But the more that you believe that, right, the more you're just giving yourself a reason to feel good about the, like, not behaving the way that you expect from yourself, right? Talk about this almost daily, but profitable trading is about holding yourself to a standard that would make most people uncomfortable. So if you want to be a true killer, you want to be a true success, you want to achieve the financial targets that you have in mind, you have to hold yourself accountable to a standard that you've never done before. And slowly you can get better each and every single day. And then you can make your profitable trading journey inevitable, not immediate. Stop looking for that immediate result, because then you're just living and dying with the P&L roller coaster, and that is no way to live as a trader. Everyone understand what is expected of them? Good. Look, life is too short to suffer fools, and the biggest fool that we can suffer is ourselves, right? So you either choose the pain of discipline or you choose the pain of regret. Both are difficult, so choose your hard, right? But I would rather suffer with freedom versus suffer with regret, right? Or with a trap, or be forced to do X, or be forced to do Y, or forced to do Z. Like, it's better to cry in a Lamborghini than it is in a Prius. Now, I own a Jeep, so, okay. Going to be sold soon. The crude's looking a little bit interesting here. I don't think I'm going to get the risk reward right on the 5 or the 3 min. So that's why I've been delaying this. No, money does not buy happiness, neither does poverty. Absolutely, I love that quote. What I will say buys happiness or creates happiness, it's being in control. I think that ultimately is a huge, at least for myself, right? That has been a huge motivating factor for me. I feel happiest when I feel as if I'm responsible for my success, or if I'm responsible for my failure, right? Having the freedom to choose my outcome and to create my outcome is what makes me happy. So CL looking pretty interesting here. Let's see how this closes. Decent range. It's funny, when I first moved back to Canada, I expected myself to be able to find a job on Wall Street or a job on Bay Street trading so easily. And no one wanted to hire me. And I was honestly miserable. I was so depressed. I was struggling so much. And it was because I was giving someone else or something else control over how I judged myself to be successful. And the second I committed to myself that I was going to be a trader, that I was going to be an entrepreneur, that I was going to create my future, my outcome, man, things got so much better. Not only did I start to make more than I ever would have made as an employee, but I felt a purpose, right? And so that's what's so beautiful about trading, is it allows you to create absolutely whatever you want in your life. Okay, so let's watch crude here. Well, a couple things, Craig. There's not that many trading companies in Canada. So that's step one. I overestimated the amount of opportunities that were actually there. And then the other thing is, it's like a who you know market when you're looking for jobs in general, I would say. And so no one knew me, right? No one knew the company I worked for in Canada, even though I was trading bigger positions than they had under management, which I found to be hilarious. And yeah, I couldn't even get like an entry-level job. It was exhausting. And then I got offered something in Singapore. So I started applying for like family funds that actually knew who I was, or knew the company I worked for, or the guy who I worked for. And I got offered a job there. And like 2 days before I was supposed to go out to go meet everyone and sign all the paperwork and do all this kind of stuff, the COVID pandemic happened and Singapore shut down. And so they pulled the offer. And that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Would have had to give up the dog. Would have had to give up a lot of my life to have made that career work. And I'm very glad I didn't. Okay, so there's that first little fake out, right? Let's see if it now finds support. Otherwise, I might have to contact that lawyer I posted yesterday. Diamond Kaplan, Roston, PA. So stop loss for now at 29. So if you're buying, 5 or 6 contracts here. Might just want to wait for that initial 945 data drop to happen. JG Winworth, that's a classic. So still no reason to jump into this yet. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. JG Winworth, 1877 cash now. My favorite karaoke song. So I'm just going to wait this thing out another 20 seconds, right? Let that data drop to happen. We all know about the CL violence of reversals, right? So I don't want to get caught on that just on an algo move. We got lots of space here to 84. Lots of space. So if I have to go stop loss at 40 instead of 29, I've got no issues with that. Okay, so now stop loss is going to be 70.40. We're going to look for a little pullback. That's pretty aggressive. Ooh, might have just missed. It's okay. Again, if a trade is trying to make you rush or force it or jump into it prematurely, generally not the right decision. Spot on, Topher. Spot on. So at 51, right, it would be 11 cents. So you're buying 4 units, right? I'm still not jumping into this. That move happened quickly to the upside and then pulled back, pretty much the majority of it. So I don't need to rush this. And remember, right, if a trade is strong, it'll give you more than one chance to enter. So I don't have to be a lunatic. All right, so see if we can get a gentle pullback here now. Not sure if that was gentle. A little bit better. $9.47. Still being very patient here, right? No reason to jump in yet. Okay, starting to slowly watch here again. Keeps bouncing to like 53, 54, and then pulling back. All right, it's like a 5-cent pop, right? It's pretty good. See if it can hold above 50. No worries, Rain. You've had an awesome week. You should be very proud of the way you've traded here. Enjoy your work day and what looks to be a beautiful day in Miami. Not missed anything on the indexes. And again, I'd rather be too cautious here today and protect what's been an awesome week versus be too aggressive and give back my gains, right? Proactive, not reactive here this morning. There it is. I'm not sure if I can do that. Come on, load up, load up, load up. Huh? Maybe do something like that. 56 stop loss. You'd want your entry to be on a retest of 62. Okay, so watching carefully here again. And the reason, right, why that 62 there was not super interesting. Nice work, Steven. I'd look to maybe think about protecting this position here, right? Certainly don't let it go red. Is that pullback from, say, 66 to 62 happened all in like one click, right? So maybe just a little bit pessimistic about it giving me easy oomph here yet. Again, I don't think I've missed out on anything here. Been relatively objective with the price action. How many contracts did you buy, Steven? Okay, it's reasonable. But yeah, don't let this trade go red. Hey, win's a win. McDonald's on you. Nice work, Don. Okay, again, a little fake out here. So far, so choppy on NQ and ES. So again, no tremendous reasons to be hyper aggressive yet. And again, if the trade is strong, it'll give us more than one chance to enter, right? I don't have to be in a rush. Fascinating. Okay. So again, we have another opportunity here. Stop loss has to be 58 as of now. Yeah, I know, Sammy. I know. I'm watching. The 10 a.m. data here today is not going to be super important for crude. Oh, shake and fake on ES and NQ. So might get a 10-min opportunity here. So I'm just waiting for these candles to close. No rush. So it's either going to hold above previous high, right? So above 62. Man, maybe might be more interested in trading the indexes here. Okay, a bit of an algo dump. Yeah. Okay, let's see if it now bounces off of that support. Okay, looking good. Okay, looking for a gentle pullback here. As is, this would be 5 units. All right, guys, I am in 70-70. Five contracts only. Could have sized up, but I'm making sure that whatever happens here today, right, I'm protecting myself. Okay, it's got to go here. Okay, I got stopped out. So minus 450. In my notes I have, wasn't green right away. Maybe should have been more aggressive cutting. That's okay. So we're going to see dip buyers here maybe on the indexes off of 800. That could be interesting. It's all good, Chad. It's been a great week. I got no complaints. It's the price you pay, right? Okay, that's a good bounce. So I'm going to start looking at NQ here on this 10 min. It's pretty much back to entry price, which is cruel, but that's the way she goes. Yeah, stop was 62, Norm. Stop was 62. And it's always, guys, when the spread crosses, right? That's always my stop loss. Okay, so now watching NQ here. So spread's 2 ticks, right? So stop loss price is set at 70.90. You need an entry 810 or better. And it'd be a 1 contract play, right? Okay. Just be patient here. Now you could go 2 contracts. Just missed it. Oh, CL 7081. That's mean. Okay, watching carefully here again. Okay, guys, I am in 801. It's gonna bounce. Come on. Nope. All right. So minus 200 on that. A bit of a shake and fake here day so far. Interesting. High vol breakout, low vol pullback into, so this is my confirmation candle, high vol breakout from the range. So it is this high vol breakout thesis, Don. Or it was, I should say. Possibly try this again here. NQ and ES, now we'd be looking for reversals off of that green box area, so a little bit later in the morning. Yeah, it still have to be that 70-60 area as the stop loss. Man, that's mean. And again, still within one trade, right? Keeping my sizing small, buying deeper pullbacks, gamifying losing small. That way, right, if I lose less than I expect. And if I win, I'm going to make more than if I just rush my entry. So for sure, a little bit nasty, a little bit dirty. hey, that's part of the game. Could I? It's a big stop loss. 16 cents. It's too big. Maybe this 15 min will give us a chance here. Again, we want it to be tight risk, right? Tight risk. Okay, so 77 stop loss, we'll call it for now. And we need it to break out above previous high, and then a gentle pullback right into 86. So we don't want to see it pull back too much lower, because then that'll kill our sizing requirements, right? So now, right, instead of being a 5 contract play, it'd be 4 contracts. I mean, 23 cents, too big. So again, you'd want a deep pullback, right? Into that range. So now stop loss would be 53. I want to see it get to like 63-ish, right? Okay, so again, still watching here. At least 5 more cents. And NQ possibly giving us a 10-min reversal here. It's got to close around 90. Okay, so again, watching here closely. Okay, not yet, right? That's too fast of a move. Again, right, we don't want to attach our value as traders to our win rate. Our win rate is kind of irrelevant with risk reward, right? We're targeting a 3.5 risk reward or greater. So that means we got to be green on 35% of our trades, right, to be profitable. That's why we trade with those filters. Interesting from ES. Okay, still doesn't look like it's going to be green. Same thing with NQ. I'm down 650 on the day, right? So I'm one trade away, 10 cents away from being green. Okay, still watching here. Will it bounce? Still not in. Maybe this is setting up to be the fake out entry. So stop loss then would be 43, entry at 53. Let's see. Again, as is, this would be 5 contracts. Okay, and we're back to reversal scenarios here on ES and NQ. Better on NQ. Fake out lower. Failed breakdown. Target would be high a day. If I get it at 76, that's a good stop. 20 points. So watching NQ here, long. Stop at 76. Too fast. Don't think it's made a clear higher high yet either, so just be patient. So if that ends up pulling back here, right, into that 60 range would be interesting. I don't think I'm muted. Okay, so again, watching here. Stop loss 39. So still need to see a pullback deeper than this. Okay. Yeah, not long yet. Still watching. I'll tell you when I'm entering, right? I will always tell you. Still no. Still no, right? Pullback happened too quickly. Yep. Low ball faked out there. 10:30, still early. Held under previous low of day, so no chance on that. So nothing immediate here yet. We need to see a little bit of separation now at this point. So I'm hanging out for now still, team. So we can hold above previous high a day. We can start to target on some other moves. I should just bought that low a day fake out. Okay, so again, need to see it hold above this 86. Chilly, chilly, chilly. Okay, there it goes. So let's see if this happens right on volume. Need to get to that white line. If it does, we can target and move towards 70.50, 71.50, sorry. Minute to go. Man, had the thesis correct, which is annoying. It's good volume. A big explosion there. Okay, looking good. Okay. So now it'd have to be the aggressive technique again. So stop. 80 or 96. Still no elevator up, right? Still no elevator up. And this is a high vol breakout through 71, then targeting our next level here. Still no. So I'm hyper paranoid, right? If it touching 96 and then going climbing. Interesting. We can go back to NQ here. Big reversal. That might be more interesting. Okay, so watching NQ as well. Okay, see where it finds support. We can bounce off 800 and then make higher highs above our confirmation candle. We'll have an opportunity. Again, not missed out anything here on crude. So 804 would be the stop loss here on NQ. For now. No reason to enter yet, but just starting to set things up. Okay. And we're looking for a gentle pullback here now. And as is, this would be one contract. Come on. All right, guys, I am in 828. Better reaction here so far. Didn't like that. Here's the retest. Okay, it's got to fly here. Better. Okay, come on. Much better reaction. Okay, so we keep going here, but great shape, team. Great shape. Okay, now not going to let this trade go red, right? Not letting this trade go red. Let's see if it's got the juice. Nice entry, Jenny. Very jealous. Okay, let's see if they can blast through this 850. Okay. Closing, guys. I'm out. Closed at 33. So again, maybe this will reset up here on a longer time frame for us. Okay, so that's plus $100. So now we can maybe play this on the 15. Stop loss 814. Call it 813 stop loss. Target would be a lot higher. Say 21,000. So a bit of a fighter here so far. Again, once it got kind of stuffed at 850, didn't feel great, right? So we made the right call, not getting greedy there. Sounds good, Steven. Enjoy your day, man. And CL. And this could be back in play here on the 15. 705, 7105, I should say, sorry. Man, how did we get shaken out of this? That's so cruel. Okay, so far so good to avoid this. Have to be under 16, right, as a possible entry. That'd be 5 contracts, or 4 contracts, I should say. Still no, I don't like how long it paused, right? That didn't make me feel very comfortable. Okay, an NQ back in business here. Again, 813 stop. One contract, right? Not more. Yep, CL 71, so good decision. Okay, now let's see a little pullback. Kind of just watching this reaction around 8:30. So far, I would say not the right one. Better. No, just watching the reaction, right? We saw 3150 bounce like 4 or 5 times. And then once it cracked through, right now we're 8 points lower. So still no reason to jump in yet. But I wanted to see if that was going to hold as support. Yeah, good call with CL. $15 points, $600 with 2 contracts. Still not sure if this is the right moment to enter yet, though. It just doesn't feel like it. Yeah, I'd say I'm paranoid of the fake out still. Like 3-man, this looks like a bull flag. I think this would have been stressful so far. Midpoint on the ORB definitely seems to be the right stop-loss location for now. But again, we prefer to get tighter risk-reward. down about 500 bucks still here on the day, which is fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine. Starting to find maybe a little bit of support here. Gonna wait this extra $1.30. CL back to 7104. Been reading a book. It's Leo Melamed on the markets. And he has this line in there. You want to be a lover, not a fighter. So what does that mean, right? Being a lover means that you're believing in yourself, you're trusting your technique, you're waiting for things to be perfect, right? Then you're falling in love with your process. A fighter means, right, that you're embracing your demons and you're rewarding them as much as possible. So for me right now, this is be a lover, not a fighter type price action. Being very patient. Might be able to get the aggressive technique here. That's a decent close. Right, so now stop. Let's see if we find support. Call it 839 for now. It needs to break out above 52. And then we want to see elevator up, right? Stairs down into 52. So 10 points can happen in the blink of an eye here. And that would be a bull flag breakout. And then if it still continues to pull back, then we could still do that 813 as a stop loss. But I'd prefer the tighter risk. Again, still watching here. Okay, so we're back to that 13. And this would be one contract. Again, still no entry. But it's starting to get more interesting. From a risk-reward perspective, this is hard to beat. So watching carefully here. Got my finger on the trigger. Good bounce. So need under 825 for 2 contracts, otherwise it's 1. Still watching, still watching. Still not the right reaction. This feels like it's going to go stop hunting. Okay, better bounce. All right, guys, I'm in 822.25. Great entry, Gabe. Let's go. And again, I'm going to be very, very deliberate with how I protect this here, right? If I don't get that bounce back up above 30 here pretty quickly, I'm just going to close for the little win. Come on. Okay, last chance here. It's got to bounce. Okay, took the stop. Ah, prick. So minus 330. And it's just faking out. So down about $880 on the session here. So I've done a good job losing small, done a terrible job of winning. Here's the bounce. Unreal. Just a little fake out and go here. Man, this is so mean today. CL maybe now setting up to the downside. Nice to get maybe that move instead of chasing these longs. I feel like I mean, this is just a V on the indexes. Failed breakout, potentially set up targeting low of day. So approximately 70 bucks. Yeah, no broken rules here today, Gabe. This is the way she goes. Still well within my max loss number. Again, today willing to accept about a max 1,500. Should be giving up a quarter of my gains for the week. Should be looking at a 74 stop loss, potentially. Okay, so definitely watching CL. Still no lower low. Hey, Dougie. And if it's a pullback, right, it's into stop loss of 71. So you'd want to see this hit like 90. Whew. Man, second half of October and so far November has been a lot of work. So 10 cents here at the very least. And if it breaks down, right, and if it breaks down, then I can maybe get or on the next candle, I can maybe get a tighter stop loss. But as is, right, to get a pullback, I'd be buying 1 or 2 contracts. I don't want to do that. So I need to see a pullback into 90 so I can buy 5, right? Or I need to see it reset and break down under low of day. Again, can keep, or under low of confirmation, sorry, right? So I can keep my sizing where I want it to be. Not interested in trading this with 1 contract. So this looks to be a good, good inside bar candle. It's fine, doesn't kill me. So still either a 90 above, right? Or if we get a lower low without this thing really pulling back too much, we could still be in play. I don't want to have the high of that inside bar as my stop loss. That for me is not particularly logical. And again, at 90, right, I could buy 5. Okay, so again, 10 cents away here. And it's not going to be an instant click right at 90. Let's wait for that reaction, right? Bit annoyed. Okay, still 10 cents. Getting closer. So watching here now for sure. Limit price set at 70.90. Stop loss 71. 5 units. And 71, right, is $7.99 plus the spread of a penny. So I want to get stopped out when the spread crosses. It makes sense. And again, this won't be an instant sell on a touch, right? Yeah, we're looking for a short here, Eric. Still need to see a little bit of a deeper pullback to justify an entry. Man, and NQ might be setting up as a reversal again. Why does it want to do that to me? That's so mean. Yeah, close, but no cigar. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a good enough candle. Still a ways to go here, 12 cents. And if this thing breaks down, you could potentially play this on the 3. It's less appealing, but that's very low volume on that pullback. NQ would have to be, stop loss would have to be low a day. Those half measures, not good enough today. Are you with me? Are you with me? Okay, back within striking distance here. Man, I can't stop yawning. Okay, watching closely. This is where I got stuck last time. Good rejection. Okay, still watching here. I mean, timing would have had to have been beyond perfect. Okay, NQ I'm watching a little bit here too on the side on this 10 min. Okay, watching here. Come on. God's to be kidding. Oh. Gosh darn it. That was so painfully close. Hit 91 twice. And then dumped 10 cents. So still watching here. I mean, I have not missed the move. And 5 cents away. And we haven't had a higher high, right, above our confirmation candle or a lower low, which is why I'm still interested in this as a possible entry. Okay, good call on that. $0.05 again. And just being willing to compromise here, right, would be a losing decision. So I'd rather be too cautious, too patient, be too specific than to basically impulsively chase this. Because, you know, an entry at 79, right, after you miss that entry at 91, just makes you feel like an idiot now, right? So again, I'd rather be proactive, not reactive there. So we're still in play. Oh, come on. Oh, we're still one good decision away. Ugh. Okay, so watching very closely. Might have to call that lawyer soon. Come on. Oh, mean. 6-cent dump within a penny. Oof. Cruel and unusual. Okay, still watching. It's an 89, right? That wasn't a 90. Man, I can taste it. So obviously in price action like this, right, when you're waiting for it, first thing that's going to go is your posture and your breathing, right? So you want to focus on reclaiming basically back your control over your mental capital by sitting up straight, right? Focusing on your breathing and just exerting that element of control. Like even there, I just caught myself slouching, like really leaned into my chair. So it's the first thing that goes, right? When you start to want to chase. So you focus on your posture and your breathing. And I promise you, price action is not personal. It feels like it all the time. But no one here is sitting trying to fade us, or there's no market makers watching thinking, oh, I'm going to go short. Or I'm going to go long because Michael's going short. That's not the reality. mean, even if all of us put our combined portfolios together, we're paying commissions for a day, right? That's not worth it for someone. Okay, still watching here. Just give it a second for this candle to close. Might be able to get a better price. All right, guys, I am in. Average price 92. 70, 92. That's just 5 contracts. Okay, let's see if we can start to break down here. Come on, start to break down now. Okay, so let's see if we can go here. It's plus 150. So let's see if we got some more. Here we go. So really starting to move nicely now. Excellent patience there, team. Excellent, excellent, excellent patience. All right, now let's see if this thing can really start to crack and fly. That's 600 bucks. Nothing to complain about here. We had to work for this, right? We had to work for this. So again, I will not now let this trade go red. Right? That's a 1R move. I am not going to let this trade go red. And let's see if we can keep breaking down. Oh. So again, not the perfect entry. Perfect entry would have been like 94, 95-ish. But I'm very happy with basically the patience we used to get there. That felt really good. Felt very rewarding. So let's see if it's got it here. I mean, it bounced right off 80, so I'd love to see it close under 80. 650, come on. Let's get that next leg down. Not increasing volume, which I would say is a little bit of a warning sign. See if it can flush. So that's 800. Who's in this with me? Who's got this? Let's go, Mike. Nice, Jeff. Good work, Don. Nice, Dave. Attaboy, Luke. All right, so I'm watching this a little bit. I don't like that little fake out. So let's see if he can die here. Again, that low volume post entry is probably the only thing that's bothering me here just a little bit about this setup. The follow through has been good, but the volume's not necessarily been what you'd expect for like a huge bearish move, right? So I would like to see just a little bit more oomph here from a volume perspective. Yeah, 500 bucks is a great win. Congratulations. So we're at 650 here, 800. I mean, it's moving fast. Oh, I hate having to work for a living. All right, 850. Can the size of that bounce a little bit suboptimal? If we make a higher high, I will get out. 700. Come on. Still in. Come on. 84 would have been the higher high. So now what I'm trying to do here, right, is fight the greed a little bit, right, and trade the setup for what it is in front of me. So I'm not looking at my P&L, not doing anything along those lines. Just watching the price action, making my plan binary. Let's see if we can get another flush here. Okay, guys, I'm all out at 85. All out at 85. Nice little win. Oh. And yeah, great decision, right? Great decision. Yeah, that was a very good decision. That decreasing volume post-entry candle, a little bit of a warning sign, right? So as we see our low vol pullback, and then post-entry we get good follow-through, but on literally lower volume than anything inside that pullback, doesn't exactly feel like strong bears, right? So I think that was a very good decision. And we saw the warning signs for what they were. I got no complaints about that. Whew. Now, if this thing wants to set back up here potentially, would not be opposed. The other thing is ES and NQ seem to want to be bouncing back up towards their relative highs a day. Oh, do I have the strength here? What's the time? 11:52. Got pretty range-bound price action. How's everyone feeling? Good? Okay? Good, Mike. Love to hear that. Willard, well done, man. $640. Fantastic result. Yeah, Jeff, I hear you. I hear you, Willard. Well, you should be very, very thrilled, man. You made it your own. You took your profit, and that's a nice green trade. No complaints. But I appreciate that feedback. Hey, that's all we can do, right? We can get a little bit better each and every single day. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. P&L is a lagging indicator for fixing the problems that cost you money. Oh. Do I have the courage? We've been so interested in this like 812 area, 813, right? I think it was a stop loss we were looking at once upon a time. So NQ is very interesting here. 50 points of upside. Stop loss 807. Oh, I do feel like this is still tradable. Thing is, within striking distance here. So I am watching for an NQ long. Trying to be objective about this price action. So I'm just like taking my time here and make a decision, right? If I feel like I'm rushing something, I'm probably doing it wrong. Again, haven't missed out on anything. Same thing with CL. Have not missed out on anything. Ultimately think I made a good decision there. Stop would have to be 79. Entry would have to be under 800, like an overreaction move under 800. Now it's 12:01, so we're pretty deep into overtime here. Problem is, I feel like there's still volatility. So it's hard to walk away. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Huh, yeah, Greg, those were long days, man. Those were long days. Yeah, I feel so good about closing that CL trade for where we did. I think I'm 20 points away from a green day. It's kind of a tease. Kind of a tease. Yeah, I was going to call those the good old days, Mike, but looking back, man, I'd be so burnt out trading in the afternoons. Wouldn't even get that much action. It's hard to say your thoughts out loud, take on risk, answer questions, do one-on-ones. Definitely made me a much better trader, but it was... felt like I was working way too much. Still have some interest here. I mean, I don't really trade solo anymore, to be honest with you, Mike, right? Pretty much everything I do is in here. But I imagine I probably would. Like, if I were to ever, I don't know, branch out and get sick and tired of doing this, which I don't see happening anytime soon, but if that were the case, I mean, I kind of like hearing my lunatic thoughts out loud. I've gotten very comfortable with that. My poor neighbors must have become a freak. But, yeah, it's, I think it helps me quite a lot. It helps me realize when I have, like, bad negative thoughts, hearing them out loud makes me realize how ridiculous they are, for one, which I really value. And being able to, like, yeah, hear my train of thought. I feel like I make things more logical. Because, yeah, generally, like, in the moment, when you're, like, trying to rush to make a decision, you tend to speed things up and skip steps and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's easier for me to notice personally. When I'm talking out loud to myself. Like, I get to hear all my craziness. I don't know about that, but I will say I'm pretty blessed to have thick walls here. He probably does. You know what? He's a funny guy. He usually just hangs out, sleeps on the couch beside me, or on the bed, like in my bedroom. And the second I feel stressed out in a trade, he knows, and he just comes and puts his head in my lap, and he gives me the puppy dog eyes. So it's like, life is gonna be okay. So they're smarter than we give them credit for, I think. Oh, I mean, I've shared thousands of pictures of them in the past, I'm sure. Here's the thing, guys. It's been a great week, right? It has been a fantastic trading week. To take less than a 1R loss here today, I'm not really going to be too bothered by that. Still puts me up to about 18K on the week, right? Something like that. So I'm not sure if I need to do anything crazier. Because if I'm being objective, that's an awesome week. Right, like I would have killed for that back in the day. That was my first bonus was 18K. So I don't think I've broken any rules today. I don't think I've broken any rules this week. I feel like I've traded well, relatively kept control, been objective. Maybe not as obsessive over protecting as my P&L as I still need to be. I think that's probably the thing I'm struggling with the most with my trading. Right, like if I close that trade and I'm up, 800 instead of 350, or when I close a win when I'm up 300 instead of 100, right? All of a sudden those numbers are different. So I definitely am leaving a little bit of dollars and cents on the table. I don't think it's enough to make any dramatic changes here. But it's something I'm still thinking about and focusing on a lot. So that'll be kind of what I think about on the weekend. Like how can I set that up, right, to make sure I'm crushing it? We are setting up here, which is tough to not want to. 12-11 though is a little bit late. And I think what this week shows, sorry, my thoughts are bouncing around a little bit here. But what this week shows, right, is the power of taking it on the chin for when you got to take it on the chin. Like win rate this week, has been less than my weekly or my yearly average. But I'm still like outperforming. I'm beating the market still with my performance. And I think that's very optimistic. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to do anything else here today. I'm just hearing myself out loud. Am I really going to make the week that much better? No. Reward would be an ego-based one more than anything else, right? And if I'm being honest with myself, it already is a great week. Yesterday was a week-making move, right? So I'm not sure if I need to do anything else sillier. And I think that last CL trade took a lot of mental capital. Took a lot of mental capital to wait for that pullback, right? So many candles it took. And then took a lot of mental capital to be objective with, hey, this hasn't moved the way that I wanted on the pullback. That volume's not good enough. Let me close it. So, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do anything else. So any questions here, team? Any questions? Happy to answer any you might have. DTR guests, same thing for you. Happy to answer any questions you might have. Awesome, Mike. You have a great weekend too. Two really good trading days this week. One day with no trades. And then today's been a little bit choppier. Sounds good, Chad. The difference, Greg, is just how much the leverage or how much leverage you get, right? So minis, I think it's 10 to 1 leverage. Micros 10 to 1, minis 50 to 1 or 20 to 1. So it's a difference in leverage. You're going to get more volume on the minis versus the micros. More people trade the the minis than the micros. So I would trust the volume more there. But price-wise, it's a 1-to-1 correlation. So you won't see anything different there. But there'll be times where you see increasing volume on the micros when you don't see it on the minis. Just because there's just generally a lot less market participants there. Yeah, you too, Sammy. Have a great weekend, man. Looking forward to our coffee in a couple days. All right, team. Any other questions here? Any other questions? So, one red day this week. Less than my smallest green day. I can't complain about that. I want to, but I can't. All right, team. So, yeah, same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, though, hope you all have yourselves a fantastic rest of the week, a strong weekend, and I'll see you all here on Monday. Next week's going to be a little bit of a strange one, right? We've got Thanksgiving on Thursday, I think a half day on the Friday. And then I'm taking a little bit of time off Friday, Monday. So we'll see how things set up here. I got a little bit of travel plans to the UK. Go see my Chelsea play. And yeah, hopefully we can have ourselves a fantastic trading week then in what will be a little bit of an abbreviated week. So same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, have yourselves a great one, team, and I'll see you all on Monday for what should be another fantastic trading week. So have a great one, y'all, and I'll see you then.